Well, let's take a look at the economic impact of all of this with Armin Steinbach, Professor of Law and Economics at HEC Paris Business School. Thank you very much indeed for joining us. So, were you surprised about the left-wing alliance winning the highest number of seats? And were the markets surprised the CAC 40 did recover its early losses in trading today?
Yes, like most observers, I was surprised by the results. The national rally was expected to win either by relative majority or absolute majority, and now we see almost the opposite results, the left-wing parties having won. There are two reasons for this. The first is that the left-wing and the centrist parties engaged in bargaining and tactical voting plans in order to build a firewall against the national rally. And the second is that they built, by mobilizing the voters, a Republic Front. The Republic Front meaning to bar the right extreme to get into power. And this is what they have done already in the last couple of elections. Markets have been quite mild today. They were more outspoken, so to say, a couple of weeks ago when he called the snap election. But today we didn't see much movement, although we know that French bond spreads are already widening compared to Germany as a reference standard. So the fiscal situation might be worsened.
OK, so a mild response from the markets today. What, though, are the potential economic consequences of political instability in France? It could be weeks before a new government is actually formed.
It could be weeks, it could even be months. In the short term, the effect should not be too harmful because, as we just heard, the government stays in place. The Attal government is the caretaker. The French Minister of Finance is running the current budget. However, we are in a gridlock situation, and the new government has to table a new budget in September for the next year, 2025. And if this is not going to be done, France is not being able to pay its expenditures. So this is the problem, that the more time passes by, the more problematic the situation from an economic perspective can turn.
So the left-wing New Popular Front ran on a platform calling for caps on essential goods prices and opposing President Macron's economic policies, like the raising of the retirement age. Are they in tune with a lot of the country at the moment, do you think?
From an economic perspective, one must say that the calls by the New Popular Front are largely populist demands, whereas the measures that Macron has adopted, they build on a sound economic underpinning. If you take the pension system is not viable anymore in France, and therefore it was important to raise the pension age from 60 to 64, absolutely necessary from a fiscally viability point of perspective. And what the National Front, Popular Front, is asking for are populist measures. They are understandable because the citizens are suffering from inflation pressure. They care about their purchasing power. So one can understand it from a populist perspective, but they are simply not sustainable from a financial perspective.
All right, well, Armin Steinbach from HEC Paris Business School, really great to get your thoughts today. Thank you so much for being with us.